All right. Well, it's recording, right? Yep. 16th day. 16th day of my video challenge out of 32 days. I should turn out that thing. It's too loud. Thanks God. So I'm on the 16th day here. I'm not alone in this place. Alonso is there. I don't know if you can see him. He's an actor as well, an artist, talented guy. Poquito loco. Alonso Bruno Serpa. Peruvian davvero. Bruno Alonso Serpa. I'm sorry. Yeah, he never says what's his real name. So. Anyway, we'll get to talk with him about acting as well. I don't know if today, but next time for sure, depending on his mood.
Is that okay?
He's gonna cook. Not too loud, please. Yeah, he studied at Lee Strasberg as well. And he comes to the group as well, 66 Theater, which the director is Paul Rush. And it's at the Lee Strasberg School. It's happening every Tuesday. We go there. No matter what, we have to be there. I mean, that's a choice if you want to be good. My 16th day, I still didn't figure out with the microphones, but I figured out. I wanted today to record with the microphone. It didn't happen because apparently with all this kit, it has to be this thing here. And that thing is connected to the phone, so I can get to the receiver. This little, I showed you in my previous video. If you will watch the 15th, we have this thing. There's a receiver and two microphones, lavaliers. They already have a mic, but they also have cords. But in order to connect to the phone, so I can be wireless and easy to go, on the go, to record stuff, I need another little thing. So next time probably I'll have it. If not 17th day, then 18th. Okay, I promise you that. Anyway, I hate talking about this technical stuff. I like to talk about human condition. I think it comes closer to that thing that in my podcast is going to be a lot of the human condition. Yeah, it's going to be talking the emphasis on the method acting, on the psychoanalysis or the self-analysis, observance, conscious, subconscious, theory and practice through relaxation and sensory to bring that real truthness of itself, the honesty, to find yourself, your emotions, the way your body behaves, responds, impulses that you have. The method helps you very much, and we've seen it in one of the greatest actors. There's been the Actor Studio and Lee Strasberg and everything about the method and Stanislavski. That's how the podcast would be, more constructive about that, and every guest that will come there, whether it's an artist or not an artist, we're gonna have open a discussion about the personal feelings and how does oneself works on itself. And I'm gonna try to parallelize that through my experience and through other experiences and from facts and theories and practice. I definitely will not talk things that I don't know or I didn't do or I didn't experience. And one of my goals is, if I use something like this, I try to do a quotation of that person or the other one. It can be a belief, so I can say that. I think it's important to talk about things you know, or at least you study about, and being open to change your mind. I mean, easy to say, right? So yes, today is, I had a call today with a documentalist that went to Ukraine and spent there about 3 months, and he's a journalist, and I did that too. I went to Ukraine in February. It's been a year, and I spent in 5 months of working on my documentary series. Yes, I did that too. 3 months I spent in Ukraine. Met a lot of friends. I also worked for CBS, 60 Minutes, Scott. I took him and the producer, I was the fixer, to take them to Ukraine, to Odessa, to talk to the mayor of the city after a bomb hit a building and people died. That led to one operation, because it was United Nations officials, representatives, CBS 60 Minutes, and World Health Organization leader. We were in one convoy. That was quite an experience for a guy that was never in a war zone, All I can think about, I can laugh about it, it's like I'm in a Sicario movie, except there was no shooting, thanks God. And we were passing through the border and through checkpoints like this, several cars. There was an advisor of the general of the Odessa district, which is huge, the biggest. It's like California in the United States. It's the richest, the biggest. There's a port there, the classic city. I mean, art, the biggest market in the whole world, which is 7 kilometers, it's called. 50,000 people, I think, work there. That's a lot. Well, aside that, it's been a year, and I arrived in the United States in July. I arrived back, let's say, with fresh power, fresh energy. And it was weird. I planned to do it in February, and because of the war, I didn't go in February. I did the documentary, and then I came here in July. And I'm still here. I can't leave now for several reasons, which I might tell you later. Because of the plans, mostly because of the things, of the responsibilities that I put, the project I started, the responsibilities towards myself as well. Since most of the time I'm not choosing myself, I'm choosing other people or helping other people. Probably it's my nature, which is fine as long as I am focusing on myself. And that might sound a bit, I don't know how it sounds, but for me it's an important step. It's a hard one. For somebody, I think it's not. In the end, we're all a bit different, the same but different, function a bit different, we respond different. You see, anytime I think talking about anything, I still reflect to the body and to the possibility that it might be 2 ways, 2 answers. Not of them, most of them are precise, the only through experience coming down. What else? I think I should take care of, make sure I'm not philosophizing too much maybe, but I need your comments, I need your input. If you see this video, if you like something or don't, I'm really fine with critique and comments. My ego is not, but I'm fine. I'm using it because I'm also curious how the people react to what I do, right? Aren't we all in the end? whether we are actors or non-actors, you know, we still are doing an act of life in general. So I think this is my video for today. Alonso, do you have something to say about method acting?
Honestly, no, my friend.
He said, honestly, no, my friend, which is a lie. Why you don't want to say nothing?
I don't know what to say.
Are you have a reason, or you don't know why?
I don't know what to say much about acting.
No, method acting. Like you, what would you, you know, there's no wrong and right, you know, like,
Okay. I don't regard it as a method.
wait, I think I have to come to you because the microphone is too far. Yeah? What do you say? We're gonna go and see what Alonso says. He doesn't regard it as an acting. He's lying. He's good. He's good. He's a good actor. I would say like Pacino. Yeah, he could pull it out. Oh, by the way, how long do you want the videos to be? 15, 20, 30 minutes, 45, 1 hour, 1 hour and a half, or two hours? A podcast. Do you think 2 hours would be fine? Because in 2 hours you kind of start to open up. You have a glass of wine. Maybe somebody wants to, I don't know, do the Indian act. Let's see what Alonso says. So, Alonso.
Hi,
Hey, present yourself.
I'm Alonso. I'm an actor. And I'm Gena's friend.
So, what is method acting for you?
I have no idea. I understand Strasbourg school teaches what they call the method, but it's just one method, no? Stella Adler taught me another one, which they didn't really teach me a method, right? It's just a bunch of teachers. A couple of them some time ago met her, but I'm sure just parts of what she said were taught to me. I think the Strasbourg school might maintain more of what Strasbourg himself was trying to teach, but besides of that, I never really focused much only on the method of Strasbourg. For me, there's no one method.
Okay. So for you, what is it then? If you take away the notions of others and schools and like just for you, as
For me,
how
what-
you feel it, like what's for you method acting? Then?
The method
Since
acting
you
they- they-
had some
Yeah.
a lot of years put into that in time.
So what's for me
Like-
the method acting they teach in Strasbourg?
No, for you just now, like
Yeah, but
your vision on that.
on
If you say you
Strasbourg
don't,
method?
yeah, if
or
you say you
something?
don't know, so I can understand. You say you don't know what's method, right?
I'm not sure. Yeah, I studied it with you a little bit, but I like the importance they give to the relaxation of body and the emotional memory.
And leave you alone into that to bring yourself and bring your own method in a way, what works for you, right?
Right. Ultimately, that's the way I see it, because I mean, in my humble opinion, nobody can just follow one method and be okay with that.
Do you think it's like being taking little bits from everything, like where's the relaxation,
Yeah.
repetition, imagination? So it's kind of building a method.
Has to be whatever works for you and well
What
maybe
works for you?
I have no idea.
No, like when you work, like what the things that you would repeat. Sometimes there's little things that, you know, like a place you go or a certain sensory or substitution or
No.
maybe.
I don't have one in particular or two that I would. Besides, I've been, you know, that's why I'm coming back to the training. I've been out of it for a while, but
He's
even
too humble,
the
he doesn't want to say. Well, when you get mad, when you cry, when you get sad.
I don't
when
I
you
don't
get
have
happy.
any particular substitution. That's why I didn't regard method acting as that thing that is going to break through for me, but it helped a lot into the body, the relaxation, and the how do you call it, the emotional memory. That certainly gave me different tools than the other schools. So, but in the end, it's a whole big puddle inside of me, and sometimes something comes up, sometimes something else comes up.
Through the relaxation and sensory, through the consistency of that, right?
No.
That you open up,
Yes.
that makes you open up and have those
No, but
places open, right? Is that what you were saying?
No, that's not what I'm saying. I mean, it
Then
comes,
help me out.
it comes out what I've been taught by many teachers. Not everything is not everything is stressful. So I don't really know what comes out when or why. And I certainly try to be as relaxed as possible, though.
You
That-
are. I see that.
That part of what they teach us in at least in Strasbourg, they emphasize a lot in that. That part I think is crucial. That is, to me, the most important thing I was taught to pay attention to, particularly at Strasbourg, because in a relaxed state, which there is different levels of relaxation, but in a relaxed state, things appear out of nowhere, just like in life, and it's so hard to just let it happen. That's the interesting thing for me, to learn how to let it happen. Sometimes it is through relaxation, sometimes it is through substances, sometimes it is through, wait, today I'm going through something, so I don't need anything. Just put me on a stage or put a camera in front of me, and it's there. And I can be tense, but it's there still.
And learning
So-
the lines.
What about the lines?
Makes you. Does it make you more easy and free to navigate through rehearsals and be there?
What, the relaxation?
Knowing the lines, I mean, like.
Ah, well, fuck, if you don't know the lines, then what the fuck you doing?
I like it.
I
Is it
mean,
okay if I smoke here, far from the door?
Yeah. I mean, I figured the lines shouldn't even be talked about. Right?
I think it's important to emphasize. Sometimes, you know, there's always gonna be people that never did acting, and like for them that would be an interesting,
Yeah, that's true.
you know,
Uh,
comment. It's not only for actors what we're talking now. So
You're right. I'm being
like
biased.
we can be, you know. No, you're not. It's a. I mean, I have this thing. I understand that when I talk. Sometimes I have to
No, but
get
not-
down to simple things like basic ones.
No,
right?
man, because I mean, for me that doesn't make sense. Because even somebody who's never done acting before, right? Which at some point I was, right? When I came here, I just started from scratch. But it's just common sense. I mean, how can you act and create many things, right? The life of a character and the life in the environment and etc. 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 How can you do that if you don't know the fucking lines? There's so much more things to pay attention to than the lines. So I don't think anybody who truly thinks about it, who goes to a movie and, well, it's just, it doesn't make sense to me for somebody to think, okay, do the lines have to be learned fully or not?
So then say it for the people. You have to know your lines. You have to respect the writer. And then you can navigate and maybe improvise in case the director says or maybe something
Well,
comes
yeah, I
up.
mean, if you don't know the lines, I mean, what the fuck, what are you gonna do?
You definitely can't improvise if you don't know the lines. You don't have the like, it's an unwritten law, you know. know the lines, then
Well-
then navigate through that. And
Well, no, you can improvise a lot. I mean, I remember a good teacher in Adler. He told me specifically, okay, Alonso, you can follow your instincts, but your instincts have to be the character ones, not Alonso's ones in the scene, right? The impulse to do something. So the same with the lines. Dick Wayne told me this: don't change the lines. Don't add a line just because it's gonna help you feel more comfortable because you don't know what the fuck to do with your body in that moment. So you say what, and then you repeat what. I said what. That's already fucking up with the writer's work, and the writer's work is an art within himself. Very, very hard to achieve, to put that on paper. So everybody's work should be respected, not just ours. And I mean, the words are there for a reason, right? I mean, the character didn't say fuck you once and not twice for nothing. There's a reason why. It's written the way it's written.
so we have to find it as actors. It's our job.
Without changing that,
Yeah.
not a word.
Not asking the director. We have to be prepared already. So then,
What I mean, asking what the director.
why is I'm saying this line or that line or doing that?
Well, it's a collaboration, no? I mean, ideally you bring something to the plate, otherwise, I mean, that's our job, to bring something to the plate. And then I guess the director is gonna just mold you, whatever you give him.
So it's gonna be easier for the director if you know the lines, you prepared, you know the things, you're bringing something of what the character would do,
Right.
logical consequences, even if it's you don't feel this way or you feel like not saying a word or adding a phrase, you still stick to the thing. And then in a collaboration, is that what you mean? Like,
Yeah, because it is a collaboration. The idea is, to me at least.
sorry that I'm putting words in your mouth. I'm just trying to.
No, it's okay. You have to make it clear for your audience. That's why I don't do these things, because usually, I'm just go whatever, but
Well, go whatever, man. It's you.
Well, it's a collaboration. It's not just. Wait, what time is it?
Mm-hmm. So.
It's just 10 minutes for the potatoes. I think it's a collaboration. It's not just disregarding of how hard the acting craft might be, which it is. It is quite hard. It's not all about me, right? There's an editor, there is a director, and all of them put the movie together. So the idea is to make it easier for them, which ultimately are the ones who build the movie, not the actor. But at the same time, without the actor giving them three-dimensional view of a human being, then they cannot do anything. So
A moving picture,
yeah,
moving painting.
all of that is related. So the director of this Safe House, right? The movie I did a couple of years ago. He's mostly a commercial director, making his leap into feature films. But he told me just one thing clearly, because he worked with Dennis Hopper, he worked with Bruce Dern, so he had something to say of his experience working with those people, right? So I listened, and I asked him, what is the most important thing, if you could summarize it in one, that you need me to do if if I'm working with you? He said, just give me choices. However you get there,
I like it.
in whatever method you
Yeah.
have, you can have Meisner, Strasberg, Rasputin, I don't know.
We heard that in the tapes about Lee Strasberg tapes when he was talking.
I'm sure.
He was talking about it from different dimensions and certain moments he would bring up from different points of view. The thing towards that you have to bring me something like, and then we work out.
Is that weed? Might want to have to cut that out. Are we PG-13 here or something?
We're PG-17 here.
Okay, no.
PG-17.
Yeah, that's what he said. Just give me choices. Doesn't matter to me how you get there, or what method you use, right? That example you told me about Ridley Scott and
His movies, man.
what's the actor the story you just told me?
Which
Ridley
one?
Scott and Gladiator.
Yeah,
versus
Russell
Crowe,
Crowe.
right?
When
After
he
the
gave
first
him.
take, he told them, I understand.
Do you want me to tell again that? So there was this thing about Ridley Scott going to Russell Crowe. I think it was their first experience together. And I'm not sure, but it was like the first scene from Shot List was the one that, if you remember that scene where the gladiator was touching the. He was in the field, and there was this wind. And what was that? What was the grass?
The grass?
Yeah, it was not the grass. What's?
I know what you mean. I don't know the word in English.
Man, I forgot the word. Grâu, we say it in Romanian. Grâu, for the bread. What you do? Seeds for the bread. I am embarrassed. I feel so embarrassed not knowing this word. Anyway, you know what I'm talking about. That field where he was touching it, and he said, "Now you touch the field. You see your house on the mountain. You came home from a long journey of the war, and then you look in the sky and you see a war, and then after you see your wife and kids and you smile, and then again you see the war." And he said a couple of things, couple of directions there, and Russell Crowe just did it. And when he did it, the director said cut, went to him right away and said, "Great, me and you both, we're gonna work very well together." So it's like this kind of stories for me personally, and I from what I saw Alonso's response, it's very exciting and inspiring. I think that's a true example of working, you know. It's also the chemistry between director and the actor.
Yeah.
But guys, even if the chemistry is not there, we have to do our job. Rehearsal, repetition, learning the lines, blockings, finding the logic, the truthness in the scene, whether it's, you know, even if you don't believe in that, you find a way to believe in that. Because if you can believe in that, whatever you explore and express, then the audience will. And the camera will see if you lie. Audience sometimes may not see that in the theater, but in camera, man, especially the close-ups.
Theater is a whole different animal.
Yeah, so that story is one of the examples. Yeah, I think. Alonso.
Yeah. And now you can talk better to your camera because cooking is priority.
Oh my God, that was so loud, that thing.
I know.
It was all the time on.
Yeah.
Shit. Guys, I'm sorry for the bad sound again. I'm gonna find a way. I need that little piece to buy to get the sound good and have good videos. Thanks God, it's a challenge now. It's not a podcast yet, so this is just videos. People are doing worse videos than me, so I'm not the worst one.
Are they really? Is that possible?
Well, social media is so open now, you know. I can do a video and put it there. You see, I'm doing it.
Okay, well.
Did you read the book of Uta Hagen, how she approached acting through cooking?
No, I mean I started it when I was in one of the schools. They gave me that book as an assignment. Actually, I might still have.
What do you know about Uta Hagen like this?
Not much.
Like
Not
with the
much.
cooking thing, do you know that she went through cooking example of how you prepare the stuff, and it was a great analogy because you have to find what you want first to cook, right? Then you go buy groceries. It's the whole process. Then you bring the groceries home. You start to think what to put when. It also requires experience. But if you don't know something, you inform yourself, right? Like what to cook first, what to cut, you know, when to cut the onion even. It's not at the beginning unless you're frying it right away. So all these little things you're creating, and you have to have fun. You're not rushing to get to the end, you know. You try to learn to have fun in the process as well. Be in that process, not to wait, you're hungry. No, I'm hungry, but I'm cooking.
I'm hungry.
Yes? I'm cooking, so
yeah.
What she says there, it's the old ingredients, and the more often you do the same dish, and you learn to have fun in that moment, not to make it too much automatic.
The more
You're
often
making it better and better and better and better, the dish.
the less you have to think about it.
Yes. So this, one of the few secrets are, one of them is really spend the time in the moment and enjoy it.
Yeah.
That's the purpose. If you can make that habit, even after hundreds of times
Easier
cooking,
said than done, no?
you're still kind of making, you're having fun. You're creating, every time is different. But it has to be truthful. And even if you fuck it up, you burn something, well, you burn something. Go mad.
So that's an analogy for acting.
Yes, that's why I like her. Hedy Sontag liked her a lot in that regard. Because she would, I think I might hear she did it the most accessible way of talking about acting, through analogy
Hedy is a
to
good
most
example.
of people.
She's a good example because I didn't experience her as much as you did, sadly. But I had one.
Well, you have
scene-
me, Baba.
Yeah, it's not the same.
She, she left me something.
But I was half a semester, just one scene. I remember some
seem to
some
remember.
things that
She was asking about you. Because she was asking about any new student. Who's that? What's doing? Who's an actor? She would ask, we would talk about actors, She would ask me to try to see what, see, I spoke about you.
okay.
I think I saw the scene. I think I was in a class.
I mean, I wasn't part of the class. I was lucky enough. She invited me half the semester through. I went to have a drink in Baby Blues, and I ran into her. She came in. She liked that little, vodka thing, and we just bonded in that moment. I had a beer. She had a vodka.
She asked me
French
about
fries,
you,
and then just because of that serendipity, she invited me. Hey, what are you doing? Nothing. I have whatever. Want to come to the class? Yeah, sure. So she allowed me to do one scene, and sadly, that's the only thing I did. Just that one scene.
I think I did it the class when you were doing the scene. I was.
You were there?
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
what I'm saying. 'Cause she was asking me about you.
Okay. Well, that's I would have liked to experience her more, but what I remember is that she was a less method-like, in my mind, approach from all the teachers in that school that I experienced. Then again, I'm not saying it's less method in a pejorative way. I'm saying she approached it differently and in a more relaxed way necessarily than the others. Of you have to relax, then emotional memory, then something comes up, then use it. Right? That was mostly the pattern, but she was just using different things, analogies,
Really
metaphors.
getting inside.
Right, it wasn't just the external pattern of the method. That I liked. That I liked a lot.
I have a phrase about her. I would say like this. When I was asked, I had an interview, and I was asked about Hedy, what she did, because I said, and the interviewer had an interesting question. I said, she changed my life, and he said, but what he did, how she did it? And I was like, she was there, but how can I explain in a phrase, right? And I said, she put a mirror in front of my subconscious, and I really mean it. She was able to do that.
That's a mouthful, huh?
And she saw all her students are deeply, deeply sensitive, sensible, traumatized humans. After her passing away recently, rest in peace her soul, many people gathered and we start talking more openly, like united back us, like members from the group theater that she did with David Strasberg, at least Strasberg, the older group theater, and kind of everybody went to that realization that we all, like little kids of hers, traumatized, like she's my mama in acting, that I could not even dreamed about. So I'm thankful, and I see it took me back to the thing. Anyhow, anyway, it becomes too much drama. I asked you a question, but then I started talking about it. So yeah, the mirror in front of your subconscious. Did you feel that?
What?
That she put the mirror in front of your subconscious?
Well, no, because I experienced her so little. No, I don't remember much.
Knowing about acting and having already a certain experience in that and time input, would you, like, when you were on the stage, the way she asked you do things, like, or start from the beginning, or what do you feel now, or giving you questions, did you?
Sorry.
Why would you?
No, I wanted to send it to the bed, but this thing. This thing, I'm sorry.
So my question is,
No, I didn't
what
feel
did she ask you when you were on stage? Like, you went there, how did the scene start? What was the scene? What was the play?
Okay.
What was
The thing is, I had a good review after the scene, so she didn't really told us anything. I mean, it was that movie that Brando did with Magnani, the Italian man.
Wow, I remember
Val,
that.
right?
That was
Val,
a
the
good
guitar
scene
player.
for you. Yeah.
So I had done that. What's the name of the play?
Who was
Come
the
on.
girl? Streetcar Named? No, it was
The other one, yeah.
the other one.
Yeah. There's a.
When he comes to the shop, Snakeskin.
The shop, yes, that Snakeskin guy.
What's the play, man?
Val is a character. Lady is
And there's
the
a
other
girl
woman, and the girl.
With the car that was
Yes.
Desire on the car.
I don't remember that part.
And she was bipolar.
Yeah, and then some. So
She was kind of
that's-
Frida Kahlo, like character, like sister of Tennessee Williams that they lobotomized. Do you remember that story? That's why he has this.
kind.
There's always this character there in his movie, in his.
Well, yeah. Anyway, that was the play. So the movie is whatever. I don't remember much. I just remember we did the scene, and afterwards she just said.
What was the scene when you meet her first time?
When she comes
to the shop, and he's
to the
there?
shop, and I'm there, and she tells him, "Why are you pretending not to remember me? I known you from the past." And he says, "Lady, why are you so prone to prove that you know me?" That was the scene. Like.
So you were there. She enters. How was the process? Because Hedy likes the entrances. She did the entrance to talk to the other actress? Who was the other actress?
Stephanie was an actress.
I knew it.
Yeah, when we were all together.
So
I remember I did it with her. Yeah.
She entered through the door. And she
Yeah.
did it? Okay.
Yeah.
And Hedy was watching.
She didn't stop it.
No, but
yeah.
Hedy was watching, right? You could see her.
No.
Was the light on her? No, dark.
Yeah.
Sometimes it's dark. Sometimes she leaves.
It was dark.
So she would leave, and would she talk? Would she look? What?
I don't remember.
You know, like how she does, ask questions to see if you're in.
I didn't hear in the.
Anyway, you did the scene. I thought that maybe you would remember the process.
I didn't hear anything. I mean, that's what I was, in a way, very happy because we finished. She didn't stop it, and she said, "Finally, you put up a good work or something."
So you were her.
I don't think it was me because that was the one and only scene I did with her. But she just said the scene in general, that was a good scene. So I'm happy for that because it made me feel good. But I'm not so happy because I didn't really experience her more. Then we just jumped into break and somebody else worked. She just said good job, that's all. So I didn't really experience her. I just experienced that one day she liked something that she saw me doing in front of her. That was all. But I remember listening to her to the other students, definitely, yes. And Paul is doing something similar now.
I like how Paul is doing now so much.
She
Really in his class, I open up a lot.
they are taking just specifically something to open up that actor of that character in that
Man,
moment.
he's good. He's becoming so good.
Yeah.
So I like it. I mean, like, and his encouragement to all the students. Honest, certain things he would not say, but bringing to anybody's level, he finds a way to encourage everybody. I think that's important. Because he was talking about it.
I like it.
Yeah, you gotta encourage actors. Come on, man. It's like, just say what he did good.
Well, yeah, it's crucial.
Whatever, sometimes you don't hear what you did good. It's like everything it's about what not, I went through that a lot.
Through what?
Of not hearing that it was good. Like, I was just hearing the comments and critiques because I was allowing that. So, like, even if I would do the scene, I didn't know if I did it good, and Hedy would ask me, so what? You did the scene. And for me, it wasn't like I did it good. So what was like, you did it actually, But I didn't feel it back then. I felt that nothing went like I planned, All I was open and honest, and I didn't understood that through myself. Theoretically, I know it, I understand what that means, but then when it happens to me, back then, it was happening very often, I actually was doing it, thinking that I'm not. I just had to do, so what is, do it again. That's what it means. So what means like, okay, you did it, so what? Like,
I don't
like,
know, man.
like, how do you do it?
Do what? That particular
How
scene.
do you do it? So next one, you'll do it again. You'll be in the moment. How do you do it again to be in the moment? How do you do it next time again? It's like, what's the method you bring to yourself to do it within all this help and the little exercises and the most crucial thing, relaxation, sensory, and checking in, all the time, right?
But
Like example for the people that might not understand, like Pacino does it, right? His way of voice using sound, easy sound. You'll see in multiple characters, he's doing it a bit differently based on how the character is still very interesting. Like, I don't know. When he doesn't know how to start the word. And he does that, he opens up and does something weird.
I saw a little video on YouTube.
So
How
that's
you call it?
checking.
Yeah, about this.
You find your own way of checking and not being weird as for the character, So for him, he's like, checking himself, that sound, and then, okay.
Nicholson. I saw a little video of Nicholson. Now that you've mentioned that, and he says he's doing an interview or something, and he says you'll be surprised how many actors nowadays. You would ask him the time, and they will say, in the scene they would look at the watch, but they wouldn't know
What time it
is actually, right? And it sounds like
And then he says, mine says, after
Yes,
he
yes,
looked at it,
yes.
mine says.
By the way, mine said.
By the way, mine says, what's like it's 2:41 or something.
It's a primitive example, but.
No, it's not. It's
But
actually a very short.
It summarizes everything in a hard.
It's a bit like you can manifest. No, not manifest actually. You can dwell around it naturally. Around this phrase, applying it to everything you do in the scene. It's like you really did look at the watch. Right? Did you really like cooking? Oh, Hedy would say. You know what Hedy also would say? She had a phrase. I think it was her, or she was talking about an actress, that it was the phrase that she couldn't start the scene, and she was standing there, and Lee Strasberg was observing her and the class, and she couldn't start, and she said, "What's the matter, darling?" And she says, "I can't say the words. You know, what's the first phrase? Where's my envelope?" It's like, okay, did you search for it?
Is yours?
He asked her, did you search for it?
Right.
Like, why you can't say the words? Because you're honest, you're open, but then the reason where you're coming from, why you're there, and then asking, did you search for the envelope? It's like, where's my, you know, where's my envelope? And then, you know, and then rest it go. You don't have to do it all the time. You coming, checking yourself when you don't understand what's going on, or maybe it's hard to say something, but then you find the truthness there. And then it can go like this, if you're relaxed and you did the work.
But you're trying to explain people the process of that?
The analogy, I just added, and I tried to say another analogy as with the watch in another example that were said by teachers, you know.
Okay. No, because I was just thinking, that's, I mean, yeah, I guess people can understand it rationally like that, but there is a particular moment that anybody who listens to us talking about those moments, yeah, in their minds it's like, okay, we can have a list of things that you just mentioned so they can jump into it. But the tricky part, at least for me, is that, so if you're in the middle of a scene, a lot of people around you watching you, a camera, and a sound guy, it's completely unnatural, right? So if you actually look for an envelope in the middle of a scene, which is something that is, you're creating something out of nothing, right? It's not natural, it's not truly happening. You have to create it. So if you're in the middle of being looked at by a lot of people trying to say the lines of a character that doesn't exist in that place, being that present of taking the moment actually to look at the watch at the time, or to look at the eggs, or to look at the envelope, there is a moment that, at least for me, I feel like I'm dying. There's that couple of seconds that if I'm truly present, I feel like I'm dying. Because you know people are looking at you. You know you're in the middle of a place that you're pretending is something, you know, it doesn't exist.
Can I tell you something?
That little
in
moment,
addition to that, so for that reason, there's something else. Along the way, whatever we say, the additional part is we have to learn to be private in a crowded place. Is that moment, it's also another word, another thing we should work on. If we can learn to be private,
yeah,
that's an addition. That's already like we are going like adding another stuff to the analogies to the thing. How we do it, there's different ways.
there's a lot of it.
It's like you have to try all of them often, more often. So then you create a method, a toolbox, a thingy to you know, to get you where you need it for the role, for the purpose. You have to find purpose, and then it's like, why you're there, and then the questions, man. Why? Who am I? Who am I? I don't know. Whatever it is, but you have to have a definite thing. What's my relationship to me?
It's a whole other story.
What's the relationship to the character, to the place? You know? What's my relationship as me, Gianna, to the character? And what's my relationship as I am the character, you know? What's my validation? There's nothing wrong I'm doing. Or maybe I have insecurities, that's different. But Gianna also has insecurities. Gianna also thinks that this character doesn't really do wrong. Or if he plays Hitler like I played, like I had to find, I think, a sympathy for him to play him because I was hating him.
Hitler might be a good guy.
I was hating him. You know what I thought about Hitler? I thought this guy was traumatized and was molested and was like, there's so many things happened to him, and all he wanted to do is to paint. Like I found truthness, and I put myself not as Hitler or as in Germany. I did a substitution that I was propagating the belief of unity and, you know, all people are equal and for benefits of humanity. So I was thinking about, I'm talking against like all villains of the world. And then voila, I start loving the process because I found the positive thing took me away from working on Hitler, because I was working on something else to bring me into that thing. You know, as an example, I mean, in the end, sometimes your work is shitty. Sometimes your work is good. Your work after 10 years can be shitty as well. It's fine. Keep going. We didn't said we had a long video. Two actors from LA, one from Peru, one from Moldova. Here we are.
I'm the one from Peru, by the way.
Just in case he's from
I'm the
Peru,
one
not
from
me.
Peru.
He's
You
not
have to- you
Moldovan.
have to
I know
put
he
that-
looks Moldovan.
You
but-
have to put that very clearly. I'm the one from Peru.
Yeah, I'm the one from Peru and he's the one from Moldova, so. Cheers.
Cheers, Mike.